Hi everyone from the future here, and we're with Beach City Live Media, but I'm sitting next to Tony Wheeler. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name's Tony Wheeler, Brisbane resident and long-term advocate and supporter of the startup system in Queensland. Founder, tech co-founder, consultant and mentor.
How long have you been part of the startup system for?
20 years.
So what makes it good? What do you think is a startup versus a business?
Well, I guess there's many definitions of that. A lot of people talk about it in terms of revenue and the stage of development and your customer validation. And
Probably one thing I'd probably say it's growth, right?
yeah. So I guess that there's a lot of talk at the moment around what actually is a tech startup, and it is basically high growth.
High growth.
So we're not actually saying, is this a local corner shop? Is this something that we're actually going to be just doing something locally with and service 100 customers? We're really looking at things, how can we leverage this across a national or an international global platform to get massive growth and massive customer attraction in a very short space of time.
But can I ask you something? Like you said something amazing before: culture versus over strategy.
Culture beats strategy.
Culture beats. Why? Can you? What does it mean?
Fundamentally, it is. We often use the expressions like you can give someone the best set of golf clubs in the world, but unless they want to play golf, it's a waste of time.
So you're looking for a mindset then?
It's complete mindset. But its mindset is both an individual mindset but a collective mindset. So you can have an individual culture, but then you have a collective culture.
The way you describe culture, because like my culture is like people, the atmosphere, the kind of ecosystem and the network, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you are thinking about like cultivating the mindset.
It's all of the above. So it's, do you have the right individual mindset? Do you and I have the right mindset together? But then also as an ecosystem, so like here in Southeast Queensland, do we have the right culture that exists between all the startups in the vicinity, all the mentors, all the different incubators, the corporates,
the government,
the state government, federal government, local councils? Are we all on the same page in terms of actually building this ecosystem?
And then here's another question: does Queensland have that culture, that startup culture?
It is getting there.
And meaning, like, how far are we from reaching that culture?
That's a really hard question to answer, because it's like, how do you define that culture? So I've been involved in it for 20 years. Literally the first 15 years of that, no one had a clue what a startup culture was, startup ecosystem. So in Southeast Queensland particularly, it's grown massively in the last 5 years.
And you feel like that growth is continually moving towards that direction, right?
Yes.
What makes a good culture? Like, can you describe an existing city that has that culture that you believe we need to like strive for? Or is everyone still at the bit where they are trying to articulate their culture?
I think there's a lot of places that are still trying to articulate and develop that culture. I guess the key thing is basically it's about collaboration. It's the acknowledgement that we're actually all in this together. So whilst a lot of people say competition is good for a healthy capitalistic system that drives growth and competition, etc., the reality is, particularly in a country like Australia, our resources are so scarce
and
that we have to work together, we have to collaborate.
I love that you did that, because like there is a bit of a startup war between each city, because the way the government is run is state.
Absolutely.
So there's like Sydney, Melbourne just brought in 500 startups, and then the government's like pat on the back, but it's like, dude, can't we just like work together? Because we're like 26 million versus 103 million in America. We can't compete with that. We need to think globally.
And it's an interesting tension, because some people say that there's the growth and the excitement actually comes from the competition, which in some ways is correct, and that's actually a healthy thing. But it's also, as you say, with scarce resources in a country resource poor as in Australia, it's like, how do we compete globally? There's another expression called co-opetition, which basically says, how do we cooperate with our competition? So we keep the healthy aspects of competition, but we do it in a collaborative way so that we all actually get to benefit.
Okay. So with that in mind, collaborate more, help more.
Mm-hmm.
And what else would you like to say in terms of like building that? How can we build that culture that we need to? Your final words in building that culture.
It's a complex scenario. It very much is a complex system. So it really is a case of it's a function of government policy. It's got to be bipartisan. So in this country at the moment, we've got different politics in terms of local, state and federal. The reality is everyone's talking about an innovation agenda, And we need to do that as a nation, irrespective of what the party politics are.
And execute it.
And execute. And because, culture beats strategy. It's easy to come up with plans. It's easy to come up with budgets. It's easy to say, this is what we want to do. Culture is all about execution. Can we actually make this thing happen in reality?
That's probably why I love entrepreneurs, because they get shit done.
Yeah, no talk, all action.
It pretty much is.
That's
right?
the startup mantra. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much. I enjoyed that conversation.
You're welcome. Excellent.
Cheers.
Pleasure.